Well, Peloton filed to delay its 10K, saying it needs more time to finish its accounting disclosures. As a reminder, a 10K is a financial statement that a public company must provide to the SEC and is generally more detailed than the annual report that it gives to shareholders. For what it's worth, shares of Peloton down around 70% this year as it carries out an aggressive turnaround plan. And Akiko, this is already after a number of headlines that we've seen with the company, right? They had 3 rounds of layoffs. 6 days ago, they said they were going to start selling equipment on Amazon, although not the Bike Plus. This is a company that's really trying to figure its stuff out and kind of highlighted by the fact that they need a little bit more time on those disclosures.
Yeah, I don't think we make too much of this delay itself. I mean, as you said, this is very much a company that's in transition since Barry McCarthy, the CEO, took over earlier this year. A lot of cost cuts coming in addition to that Amazon deal. Of course, the company also shutting down some of its showrooms, right? And so, you could argue if you're an investor in Peloton, it's been a rough road getting here, but we are, or are we, starting to see some signs of what that turnaround is going to look like? A smaller footprint, more outsourcing on the manufacturing itself, and then really trying to keep the platform a little stickier so the customers they do currently have will stick around.
Yeah, and look, a lot of people are probably looking at the highs that we saw in December 2020 when the stock was $163, and now this is 10, right? And you probably go, well, is this a stock that's going to be zero? But Peloton still has it's a smaller footprint, but the amount of people that are still using the bikes is still relatively high. This is a decent company that does have value even in a post-pandemic world. The question is whether or not it's fairly priced now. And I think that's the big story here. You can look at a statistic like the year-to-date decline and say, well, this is a garbage company because it's down 70%. But part of the repricing post-pandemic, which we're also seeing with Zoom as well, is just what is the proper valuation of this company after a time period in late 2020 and early 2021 where people were saying these are going to be the future Teslas of the world. Well, not so the case when people realize most human beings go back to what their regular days were like pre-pandemic.
Well, exactly. When you couldn't escape your house, paying, several $1,000s for a bike didn't seem like a whole lot because you couldn't go to the gym. Now there's other options that are available. I keep coming back to whether, in fact, Peloton's going to be an acquisition target, which has been the constant question because of how far back, how much the company's pulled back. But, of course, we're going to continue to follow this story. It feels like there's a headline out of the company every week.